Very good. Good morning. How are you doing today? Happy Easter. What religion is this? Please. George, what religion are you? Do you have a religion? What religion would you like this to be? Do you have an opinion on that? Perhaps you do, perhaps you don't. Maybe the rest of you do. What religion is this? Please, let me know. A happy one. That's pretty good. This is a happy religion. Well, we can start today with some very old words. Old words in the Hebrew language, so that might give you a hint as to what religion this is. Good morning, baby love. How are you? Swipe to view more comments. Swipe left to choose. Ah, interesting. Oh, that makes it so much easier to read the comments. I've missed you too, Courtney. Yeah, I know. I haven't been on in ages. Your daughter just opened her Easter basket. What did she find in her Easter basket? Chocolate? Rabbits? Goslings? I'm having a good morning. There's literally a basket of hay, I don't know, 500 feet away from me, and it's full of tiny little yellow goslings. Because it's Easter time. Good morning, Simone. A whole bunch of candy and a chocolate unicorn. Chocolate unicorn. I want a chocolate unicorn. She's a lucky girl. So, we're going to start today with some old Hebrew words. Happy Pesach. Yes, I had a really lovely Seder on Friday. It was really great. Gosh, I guess I have to show you. All right. The people who I live with, they love me very much, and they made me a snake with a god inside it for Passover. Oh, it's so good. Hold on. Look at this snake. They made me an Ouroboros for Pesach. Isn't it amazing? It's so good. It's really, really good. And there's a puppet that lives inside. Or all of these limbs. I'm not going to put the puppet together because it takes too long, but Baal is consumed by the serpent. And where is he? Here he is. Here's Baal. Um, we will read the story of Baal being consumed by the serpent of death soon. Once we finish reading about Ishtar, we will read the Baal cycle. and then maybe this will make more sense to you all. Oh my gosh. What a thing. It's an incredibly thoughtful gift. I was so touched, and was totally not expecting it. Woo. Okay. There we go. Okay, now the snake is back. The god is inside him. Have I read the cycle of Moreno? I have not. Will you tell me what that is, Renbozo? What is the cycle of Moreno? I would love to know. Woohoo. Okay. So that was how my Pesach went. I hope you all are having a very nice holiday weekend. Alright. Very good, very good. Worship the puppet. That's not a bad idea, right? I mean, there's this whole thing in Judaism about idolatry, right? Like, there's all of these philosophical polemics against making idols of deities, and they have some very theologically convincing arguments as to why you cannot represent the deity in fabric or in clay or in gold. Right, and we can get into that discourse. But I do think it is a discourse, and I think there is a legitimate place for representing the divine in various forms, and contemplating what that means to represent something which cannot be represented, right? So if we do pageantry, if we do puppetry, if we make gods out of matter so that we can make them move and imagine them alive, perhaps that will allow us to understand divinity a little bit better. Perhaps. Perhaps not. Maybe you're a troll. I never know. Shema Yisrael Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. ואהבת את ענת אלוהיך ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר נוחי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך וחיה כי יביאך אלוהיך אל הארץ אשר נשבע לאבותיך לאברהם ליצחק וליעקב לתת לך ערים גדולות וטובות אשר לא בנית ובתים מלאים כל טובה אשר לא מילאת ובורות עצובים אשר לא עשת וכרמים וזיתים אשר לא נתת והלכת ושבעת הישמר לך פן תשכח את יהוה אשר תישך מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים. What is the tree behind me? Does anyone know? Carpentotem? Does anyone know? What is the tree behind me? What is this? Genuine question, Top Dog. Alright, let's explain. What are we doing here? You've just scrolled onto a live stream. You have no idea. You have no context. What is this thing behind me? It's the tree of life. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you. I really like it when people in the audience who know answer questions. It's really, like, it helps me tremendously. Um, it really helps to know that there are people here who know some of the context. So there's a phylogenetic pattern. Let me see if I have any versions of it here to show you. This is on. But here we go. Okay. So there is this phylogenetic pattern. Oh! Seriously, on the wall. This is the tree of life. Right? The resolution is a little bit poor, but this is a phylogeny of every living creature that has ever lived, right? Starting at the very center, we've got Luca, and then branching out, we've got the fungal kingdom, the animal kingdom, plant kingdom, all these microbes. I used to have a better tree of life printed, but it got lost somewhere along the way. So this is a pattern that represents the totality of all living things, right? Everything that has ever lived is connected to every other thing that has ever lived in this branching tree pattern. And we are on this tree. We are part of this tree. So that is what that is. Prayer. What language was it in? So I was just reciting prayers called the Shema and the V'ahavta in Hebrew. They're prayers that I say every day. And we can translate them as Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Listen, Israel. Yahweh Eloheinu, Asherah Echad, are one. All of these names of God that you might conceive of, they are one and the same. And you shall love Yahweh Eloheinu with all your heart and all your soul and all your might. And these words that I'm repeating to you today in Hebrew and in English, teach them to your children. That's what the prayer says. The prayer says, teach the words. So I teach them. I'm just doing what it says, because religion is about obeying. I say that ironically, but Judaism's kind of scary sometimes. These words, teach them to your children. Recite them when you wake up and when you go to bed. And say them when you are traveling and when you are at home. And you shall bind them as a symbol on your hand and let them serve as a sign on your forehead. And inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. And when Yahweh Eloheinu brings you to the land that he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to assign to you, great and flourishing cities that you did not build, houses full of all good things that you did not hew, vineyards and olive groves that you did not plant, and you eat your fill, take heed that you do not forget Yahweh, who freed you from the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. Is this a specific religion? I don't know. I get asked that question every day. Every single day someone asks me that question. What religion is this? And I do not know the answer. God, I wish I did. I find it very frustrating that I do not know the answer. The tradition that produced those words is the Jewish tradition, right? That is the tradition that my ancestors practiced. And I don't think that those ancestors would say that what I am practicing is Judaism. Probably not, right? Because I have idols. Because I think about Asherah. So it may not be Judaism, but it's something. It's something. I've been dealing with anxiety and depression too, Lily. Oh my god, you have no idea. I stopped streaming for like 4 months because I was too depressed. I didn't have the energy to come up here and perform. Right? There were too many trolls in the feed. Too many people trying to waste my time and my attention and ask me questions that I've answered 1,000 times before, and I didn't have the energy for it. I didn't have the emotional bandwidth to actually give legitimate answers to the same questions every morning. But now I do. Right, so thank you for asking those questions, Chop Dog. You're not the first, you won't be the last. And what I do here in the mornings is I answer those questions. Right? And in so doing, try to figure out how to be in better relationship with whatever God is. try to think about how to think about it. So, we can continue to engage in a story. Right, so this is a story about Ishtar. Right, so you can see her. She holds these metal symbols. Right, she has wings. And this may not actually be Ishtar. This may be Ereshkigal, Ishtar's sister, the woman who rules over the land of the dead. And where we left off with Ishtar and Ereshkigal, Ishtar had just gone down into the realm of the dead. Right? And in order to enter the realm of the dead, she had to pass through 7 gates. And every time she passed through a gate, they would remove an article of clothing from her body. And so she arrives naked past the 7th gate at the throne of her sister, Ereshkigal, the harpy goddess of death. And what happens then? He allowed her to pass through the door of the 7th gate, but he tore off and kept the regal guard which enwrapped her. And Ishtar raised her voice to be heard to the gatekeeper, "Why did you take the regal garb that enwrapped my body?" And the gatekeeper raised his voice to be heard to Ishtar, "Enter, lady, for these are the ways of the mistress of earth." Just as Ishtar had descended into the realm of no return, when Ereshkigal first saw her, she shivered in her presence. Ishtar did not mince words, but rather stood tall before her. Ereshkigal raised her voice, speaking to her officer, Namtar. "Proceed now, Namtar, who are the executor of my designs. Unleash the 60 maladies upon Ishtar to prevail over her. Thus you will send the malady of the eye against her eyes. Thus you will send the malady of the arm against her arms. Thus you will send the malady of the foot against her feet. Thus you will send the malady of the heart against her heart. Thus you will send the malady of the head against her head. Send them into every of her members and into her very soul." Good morning. We are with Ishtar in the realm of the dead. Once Ishtar, queen of heaven, had descended into Kurnulgi. After the goddess went down into the realm of no return, there was not one single bull that impregnated a cow. There was not one single donkey that mounted a jenny. No one is horny anymore. Ishtar is in the realm of the dead and no one can have sex. This is a problem. This is a deep problem. There was not one single youth who made love to a local girl. Rather, the youth remained asleep within his own chambers, and the girl went to bed only in the company of her close kith. Then Papuskal, the god's official, was low with a somber cast, dressed in the garments of mourning, with his hair unkempt, overcome with gloom. He went and he cried before his father, Sin. Standing before the great king, Ea, he wept tears without end. Lady Ishtar has descended into the earth and not returned. Once Ishtar, mistress of heaven, has descended into Kurnugi. After the goddess went down into the realm of no return, there's not one single bull that impregnated a cow. There's not one single donkey that mounted a jenny. There was not one single youth who made love to a local girl. Rather, the youth remained asleep within his own chambers, and the girl went to bed only in the company of her close kith. And we will leave it there. So Ishtar descends into the realm of the dead, and then a plague of celibacy comes upon the people because Ishtar's sister Ereshkigal has plagued her with the malady of the eyes and arms and feet and heart. She's ill. She's dead. And so no one can have sex. What a myth. What a story. See, I love these old stories, like these really, really old myths, because they are, they're unashamed about their sexual content, right? In fact, they're explicitly about sex, all of them. Like, you don't find that in the Abrahamic myths, right? The Abrahamic myths that replaced these myths, they eliminated sex, because they eliminated the feminine. Right? All the characters are male, so there's no enough sex within those stories. But here, where you have these death goddesses fighting with one another, they can fight over sex. So, I don't know. a different religious framework than the one that most of us know. Well, Bunny, I assure you, it's just seeming. It's an illusion. It's an illusion that I cultivate for the cameras that are in front of me. It's an illusion that I cultivate for you, right? I am performing a certain kind of self-awareness. And whether I am actually in touch with myself in a in a genuine way, I'm not sure. It's hard to say. Don't really know what that means. Well, see, I can't tell myself that I'm very beautiful. I need all of you to tell me that I'm very beautiful, because that's the only way that I believe it. Because these sort of things, they're performative, right? They're social. You can't be beautiful in a vacuum. You can only be beautiful if you're perceived. Right? Like, I could perceive myself as beautiful, but that's like sort of the same thing as being in touch with myself. Like, I'm a social creature. My personality exists only in relation to others. Although I do appreciate being called beautiful. I do. Like, that is why I come on here, because I'm vain, right? And I want the compliments. Maybe now I'll hide my hair. Be more modest. So, what are we to do now? I think it's time for arati. The word arati means flame in Sanskrit. So we're going to say a prayer about flame, about light. Here we have this little candle to remind us of the energy that keeps us all going every moment of every day. Am I Hindu? That's a good question. Earlier people were asking me what religion I am. Did you know that I have to spend this entire feed answering the question, what religion are you? What religion am I? Am I Hindu? I don't know. I'm going to tell you a Hindu prayer. I'm going to perform for you a small portion of Sanskrit liturgy. Does that make me Hindu? I don't know. That's not for me to decide. Jaya Jaya Ratiya Vina Vinayaka Vina Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jaya Jaya Ratiya Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jaya Ratiya Venugopala Venugopala Venuola Papa Vidura Navanita Chora Jaya Jaya Rati Venkantaramana Venkantaramana Sankata Harana Sitarama Radhe Shama Jaya Jaya Rati Gauri Manohara Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jaya Rati Raja Rajeshwari Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi and Mahasaraswati Mahakali and Mahashakti Jaya Jaya Rati Anjaneya Anjaneya Hanumanta Jaya Jaya Rati Dattatreya Dattatreya Trimutrivatara Jaya Jaya Rati Adityaya Adityaya Bhaskareya Jaya Jaya Rati Sanistaraya Sanistaraya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Rati Sankarachaya Sankarachaya Advaita Guravi Jaya Jaya Rati Sadgurunata Sadgurunata Shivananda Jaya Jaya Rati Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Jaya Jaya Rati Agastya Munaye Agastya Munaye Shriyama Priyaye Jaya Jaya Rati Ayappa Swamine Ayappa Swamine Dharma Shastrave Jaya Jaya Rati Jesus Gurave Moses Gurave Buddha Gurave Jaya Jaya Rati Muhammad Gurave, Guru Nanak Gurave, Samastya Guru Bho Namaha. Jaya Jaya Rati Avanu Gopala. These are words that I learned at the Shivananda ashram. My mother took me there when I was very young, before I was born, actually. I heard these words in the womb. And when I was young, they ingrained themselves into my mind long before I could understand what they meant. Natatra Suyabati Natandrakaratam Nema Vidyobati Kutaya Magni Twameva Bantaminabandi Sarvam Tasya Basya Semidam Vivanti Om Kange Kayamune Kaivagovari Saraswati Narmate Siddhikaveri Hiyaha Namastutam Namo Namaha. Tvameva Mata Chabita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhushasaka Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Kayena Vacha Manasendriyarva Buddhyatmanava Prakrite Sabhavad Karomi Adyad Mangalam Parasmahi Narayana Hiti Sarmar Payami Sarvadharmam Pravichayam Amikam Sarvanam Vrija Aham Sva Sarva Papayo Mokshayami Masucha. Whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, intellect, my nature, or my emotions, all these I dedicate to you. What do you think, Daryl? Am I Hare Krishna? What does it mean to be Hare Krishna? What do the rest of you think? Am I Hare Krishna? Can you tell me? Am I? I'm not sure. Am I Hare Krishna or not? Will you let me know? I would really like it if someone could inform me. Truly. Like, I'm not being facetious. Like, when I come on here and am asked by multiple people what religion I am, and they all ask me if I'm a different religion, or they come here and they ask me what gender I am. Are you a girl? Are you a boy? Will you tell me? Please just let me know what you think. I cannot answer the question. I am incapable. So, with that, we will conclude. I am what I am. Yahweh Iya Yahweh. I am the name. I am the name of the sound, and the sound of the name. Yes. Yes, indeed. We will now say Mourner's Kaddish. A Kaddish for all those who died yesterday. For all those living things that have suffered since our lineage began 3.8 billion years ago. For all those people who do not know their gender. I know my gender. For all those people who have their gender questioned on a daily basis. What is going on here? We are saying Kaddish. We are saying Kaddish. I need your help, my friends. Like, truly, I need your help. I cannot actually answer the question of gender, or what is going on here, or are you Hare Krishna, or what is your religion? I cannot answer these questions in this chat. So rather than answer the questions, I beseech you, please answer them on my behalf. Those who know the answers. There are answers to these questions. Like, there are concrete answers that I could give. And you could give them too. Anyone here is qualified to give those answers to those questions. So, if you think you know the answer, if you feel so inspired by the curiosity of other members of the audience, please answer them. Please let them know what is happening. Because coming from your mouth is so much better than coming from mine. Vid kadal vid kadash Shema Rabba. Bialma divrach yute viamlich malchute. B'chayachon of yom echon of chayed kol beit Yisrael. Bagalau bisman kari vimru. Amen. Yehi Shema Rabba mevarach li'olam olmei olmaya. Yitbrach vishtabach vitpa'ar vi'urman vitnaseh. Vitadar vitale vitala Shema de kudisha berichu. Leila min kol berchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata tiamiran bialma vimru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav. Huya aseh shalom. Aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Knowledge is what's going on. Sharing love and beauty and all of the above. Thank you, Mama Bear. Thank you. Oseh shalom b'imramav. Hoy say shalom aleinu v'alechol Yisrael v'imru v'imru. Amen. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I will see you here tomorrow to say these words once more. So now, without any further ado, I am going to have some breakfast. Let's have some breakfast. Quinoa. Yeah, so I'm going to be right back with some quinoa. You hold tight, okay? Happy Easter, Carly. No. Carissa. Carissa Lee. No, I haven't converted to anything. Not converted to anything at all. It's been a while since you've been on and I've been live. How are you? I'm doing okay. I'm streaming again and that feels really good, actually. I am pleasantly surprised at how good it feels. I was unwell for a long time and so I wasn't streaming all day. But I am feeling better. And so I am streaming again. What do I do when I'm struggling to make a decision? You know, bitches love me. You know, I'm not sure that we actually make difficult decisions. Like, I think most difficult decisions are made for us. And I don't mean that, like, disengage and don't think about it. Don't deliberate. I mean that, like, the really important decisions that we make in our lives, they're not actually single decisions, but they're patterns of behavior, right? And they're patterns of behavior that we either choose to continue or cannot help but choose to continue. Or we don't. Or we change our patterns of behavior, right? So you can choose in a day to do a particular action, but, like, the big things, how you live your life, like, they're not single decisions. And even the times when, like, you know, should I get this surgery, right? Like, should I transition? Should I get married? Should I have a kid? Right? Like, those things feel like, okay, maybe they're yes or no decisions, but, like, not really. Like, should you get married? Should you have a kid? It's the relationship you have with that other person. Do you have the ability to maintain mothering for 20-something years? So there are lots of decisions that I've struggled with. There are still decisions that I'm struggling with, or decisions that I wish I could make, but I cannot. It's the reverse of struggling with a decision. I don't know. Like I try to think more holistically than that, basically. Like, the really big things in your life, they emerge. You don't have to consciously decide. Are you saved? Do you know about the one that died for you? I think I know about him. I think I do. I'm glad that makes sense, bitches. Sometimes I wonder if I make any sense at all. Well, like, I posted a video about this a few months ago. Somebody asked me, how did I decide to live on a commune? And I was like, well, I didn't really decide. Like, yeah, sure, one day I had an opportunity to move here and I took it. But that wasn't when I decided to move into a commune. Right? Like, I decided to move into a commune long before that, or never. It was just like the momentum of my life took me in that direction. And, you know, the reasons that motivated me a decade ago are not the reasons that motivate me now. And sometimes I have regrets that I had motivations in my past when I was a different person that I no longer hold. I had certain ideals in my past that I no longer hold. But I'm still living with the consequences of holding those ideals in the past. I don't know. Snow Off-White, my friend. I'm doing well. I'm glad you're here. I was hoping that you would pipe in earlier when people kept asking me what gender I was and what religion I was, and I was hoping you would just tell them what was what. I'm glad you're here now. How are you? Last time I saw you, you said, I have to get out of the house. I don't know where I'm going, I just have to get out. You had your hands busy. Where did you go when you went out of the house? And what were your hands busy with? You have to get out again. It's not only that I get tired of the same questions, but like I actually truly think that those questions are better answered by the community here. You know? Like if I have to give the answers myself, then the answers are somewhat false, right? But if they are generated organically by everyone in the room thinking together, then what they say is true. Yeah. So like part of it is, yes, I get a little frustrated answering the same question over and over, but the bigger thing is that like actually the answers to those questions need to be collaborative. You went shopping for cooking pots and then you went to your sister to break your fast because it's Ramadan. That sounds nice. What did you eat with your sister? I did paint the tree behind me, yes. She always feeds you well. It's good to have a sister who will feed you well. It's very good. Does she live close by? She must. You have a fairly good relationship with her? You can't even remember, but there's always lots of different dishes. She does, yes. She just had a baby. I want to have a Ramadan meal. That sounds great. You've been looking everywhere for me. I'm sorry, I've been difficult to find. I was singing in Sanskrit and in Hebrew. Those are the two liturgical traditions that I know the best. So I was saying prayers from them. You're telling me I can come to your house for Ramadan? That's a big deal. I'm quite touched. I wish I could. I'm eating quinoa. But now I'm feeling a little self-conscious eating the quinoa. Because I'm reminded of fasting. You're not still a mod because you changed your account. But let me make you a mod. Think I have to follow you? Oh, we're friends. Alright. Let's do the thing. More settings. Moderators. Okay. Snow. Add. Alright. Now you're a moderator. You enjoy watching people eat when you fast? And cooking videos? Okay. Well, then I'm not self-conscious anymore. Good. Thank you, Frederick. I appreciate that. Thank you, Olivia. I've worked a lot on my voice. It's really nice to receive that compliment. What is my eyeliner? So I recently made a video about eyeliner. I haven't yet posted it. But I've been playing with eyeliner and I'm quite pleased with the way it looks this morning. I will be posting an eyeliner tutorial in a bit. Snow Off White. Actually, this I never did lower lash stuff until I started talking to you. I was like, I want to try that. Like, lower lash stuff scared me. And like literally your video on lower lash liners was like, I'm gonna get some red eyeliner. It was you. Thoughts on celibacy. I have so many thoughts on celibacy. I'm a very sexual person. I'm a highly sexual person. And my relationship to sex and my relationship to my gender are very tightly coupled. So there was a time when I was younger, when I was a boy, that, and I was like very sexually frustrated, like existentially sexually frustrated, like I didn't know what was wrong. I thought that I probably should just become a monk. Right, that like one solution to this like deep sense of sexual dysphoria that I had, but wasn't able to name because I didn't have the language for it, I didn't know any trans people. I was like, oh, well, you probably should just withdraw from the world and become a monk and sublimate your sexual desires into some spiritual realm, right? Like, that must be what you need to do. Or, like, that's what you will do if you don't solve the problem. And I don't know if I can say I've solved the problem, but my relationship to sex is radically different from what it was a few years ago, right? Like, I have multiple partners. One of my partners basically is celibate. I mean, not that she's taken a vow of celibacy, but the language that we usually use is that she's asexual, right? Like, she's not interested in sexual activity, or at least not nearly at the rate that I am, right? Like, I haven't had sex with her in half a year more. I don't know. Right, and like, that is, I couldn't actually hold a relationship like that monogamously. It wouldn't work for me, right? Like, my sexual needs are just too strongly baked into my physiology and the way that I see the world. So, like, I don't know, I understand asexuality. Like, I can empathize with it very strongly because I've had to. Like, being in relationship with my partner has, you know, I've learned some hard lessons about understanding what sexual reality is for other people. And so I've thought very seriously about celibacy, that framework, right? Like, spiritual sexlessness. But I've gone the opposite way, basically. Right, like, I have a lot of sex. And to the best of my ability, I try to incorporate my sense of the divine into that. Yeah, it's difficult to understand. Asexuality is very difficult to understand. I mean, I think any sexual orientation is difficult to understand, particularly if it's not common, not as common as what, you know, heterosexuality. I don't know. But that's, we live and we learn about ourselves, about other people. We find ways of being in relationship with them that work, or we don't. Snow Off White, can I ask you to elaborate on that? Like, I know that the nature of this conversation is fairly one-sided, right? So I can give you, like, a very rich description of my own sexual orientation in a way that honors the privacy of myself and my partner in a way that you maybe can't. But I'm curious. Why do you think that celibacy is the right decision for you? You're recently in a relationship that you're trying to get out of. Well, I cannot speak for the asexual community. I am not a member. But I can tell you that the asexual people that I know like cuddling a lot. I'm still trying to figure my sexuality out. The confusion is such a headache at times. I know! It can be such a headache. Oh no, the comments are coming too fast. I want to read the important ones. He won't allow and he feels entitled. You don't want to be in any relationship where there's a man not allowing things. That's not okay. I don't care what your orientation is. Like, that doesn't sound, I don't know. I have no information about your life, but just like in general, I don't think relationships, I just don't think that language is appropriate. Like, I won't allow you to be the way you are? I won't allow you to leave me? Like, no. It's just not the way it works. Why can't I see the bottom? Yeah, I want you to... You used to kiss your girlfriends, but you're straight. But women are attractive. You can be attracted to women and be straight. You can be attracted to women and be bi. You can be attracted to women and be gay. You also don't have to label yourself. You can just be attracted to women. If I wanted to be told what to do, you'd stay with your parents. Existential crisis at 21. Well, let me tell you, you'll be still having existential crises when you're 31, and 41, and 51. Yeah, you don't have to label yourself. Allison, I've missed you too. It's been too long. And Julie, you also don't have to find out. You don't have to label yourself as one thing or another. You can just be. You can just notice, oh, I'm feeling attraction now. Oh, I'm not feeling attraction now. You can just notice it. And you don't have to think about what category that makes you fall into. You can just notice it. I'm sorry. Like, I am truly sorry that I was gone for so long. I was unwell. I was unwell. I was very seriously depressed for 4 or 5 months. And I had too much work, and I couldn't fit in streaming. But, I can do it now, and it feels really good. It feels really, really good. Some heterosexual men feel entitled to women. And they make our lives hard. It's true. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that that is your experience. Literally just changed your life with a few words. That's flattering. Thank you. I hope I changed it for the better. Thank you, Harley. We were just talking about eyeliner. Snow Off White taught me how to do my eyeliner. Like, in a pretty real way. Like, I watch a lot of makeup tutorials. But, like, truly, honestly, I never seriously considered doing lower lash liner until I saw you do it in a way that looked accessible to me. Thank you for being the trans representation I needed to find my identity. What? That's too much responsibility, my friend. If you want to talk to me more, you should join my Discord server. There's a link in my bio. It's a really lovely little community. You can be beautiful too. You can. Yeah, I like that you're not a makeup artist, Snow Off White, right? Like, I watch makeup tutorials on YouTube, and I'm like, girl, you're spending like 2 hours every morning doing your makeup. Like, I understand it looks great, but like, I'm not doing that. Like, I need something that I can do in 5 minutes. And that's it's a different kind of makeup tutorial, you know? Annabelle the Poet, I assume that you mean that as a compliment, but like, generally speaking, stalking people on the internet is something to be avoided. I know what you mean. Like, I cultivate parasocial relationships. I do. And I appreciate that you like my content. But like, you may want to conceptualize it as something other than stalking. Yeah, but you do you. Yeah, I had that issue with makeup for a long time. I would put it on and I was just like, oh my god, I look like a boy in some clown outfit. It took me quite a long time to figure out how to do it in a way that made me feel good about myself. Happy Easter. I like chocolate and eggs too. I like chocolate and eggs very much. Chocolate and eggs are pretty great. They're pretty great. Well, friends, I think it is time for us to say goodbye. And thank you for sharing this morning time with me. I feel pretty blessed that I can do this with you all. It's pretty special. So, I'll see you here tomorrow. Similar time, similar place, maybe a little bit later tomorrow. I hope you have a really lovely day. Okay. Farewell.